And for the only rugby international in New Zealand in 1975, surely one of the wettest of all time, Scotland, the tourists, will send 3 new caps in against the All Blacks. Centre Graham Burkett, only 21 as a newcomer, as is fullback Bruce Hay and hooker Colin Fisher. The remainder of the lineup are established Scottish internationals, the danger men being winger Andy Irvine, fly half Ian McGeechan and big kicking halfback Douglas Morgan. In the forwards, where so much of this soggy test match is to be played, Sandy Carmichael, Ian McLaughlin and Alistair McHarg are the key grafters, supported by a lightweight loose forward trio of Lauder, Watson and David Leslie. 7 of the New Zealand team are playing their first test match in New Zealand. However, only one is a new cap, Bill Osborne, the Wanganui centre. Lynn Jaffray is a virtual newcomer, but Karam, Williams, Batty and the rest of the backs are now veterans of the tenseness and tightness of test matches. Behind the All-Canterbury front row, the All Blacks have height in MacDonald, Callison and Kirkpatrick, and speed from Stewart and their captain, Andy Leslie. Today's referee, Mr. Peter McDavitt of Wellington, who controlled the Scotland match against Canterbury. And the wet and soggy test match is underway. Grant Batty. Looks like it'll be kick and chase today. Bruce Hay, 15, Scotland's new test fullback. Osborne handling for the first time. Sid going at halfway. 7 is Ian Kirkpatrick. The Scots forwards arrive. Andy Irvine, 40. The first moment of the only test match, the 1975 season. There is Scotland's right winger, Andy Irvine. That's the halfway line for Douglas Morgan, Scotland halfback at number 9. Here's Joe Karam inside the 22-metre line. Slow to turn in these slippery conditions. Chance to have a look at the Scottish lineup in the lineouts. There's Wilson Lauder, Bill Watson, and at the back with the moustache, pushing forward David Leslie. Number 9 is their halfback Douglas Morgan. Here's Colin Fisher handling for the first time in Test rugby. Number 2, the Scots' brand new hooker. McHarg going high and getting the palm. Ken Stewart, number 6. And she's really wet and woolly. Jim Rennick. Inside centre, Jim Rennick for Scotland. Outside the 22-metre line in the dramatic test match. The wet test match. And there, the New Zealand lineup. Tani Norton, behind him Kerry Tanner. There's Big Ian Barnes of Howick in Scotland, and Hamish MacDonald from the north of Auckland. Bill Bush from Canterbury, and jumping against Alistair McHarg, Manawatu's John Callison. Callison got the palm. Good work by MacDonald. Going, kicks high. Back go the Scots covering. Andy Irvine, short of his own goal line, and in the ankle-deep water, has lined out very well indeed, outside the 22-metre line. Andy Irvine. You can see the hopelessly wet conditions that Eden Park is in this afternoon. And this is a forlorn hope for Grant Batty to try and keep the ball dry this afternoon. His 10th test match today. 4 for Scotland. Barnes, that's their 22-metre line. Douglas Morgan, McGeechan. There's Ian McGeechan, back in the Scottish team, the test side, as a fly half after playing most of last year as a centre. Ian McLaughlin in the centre of the Scots lineup and captain. 27 metres from Scotland's goal line. Batty through onto Fisher. Grant Batty of Wellington. And the referee today, Mr. Peter McDavitt, is in Wellington's alternative strip, the same colours they used against Scotland last week. Morgan, McGeechan, a clever shift of direction by the Scots fly half, and a good kick in the slippery conditions. Ian McGeechan, you can see the rain coming down. Is Ian Kirkpatrick behind Callison, then Leslie, and running off the back of the All Black lineout, Southland's Ken Stewart. Sid going, again kicking for space. He's picked his spot nicely this time. That's short of the try line, though you will never be able to see it as it's underwater. Well, the immediate thought is that the All Blacks, by their kicking, are putting pressure on Andy Irvin, who's playing on the right wing. And 3 or 4 times they've sent the ball spinning his way. And in a very wet corner, he's had a difficult job. Now here's Colin Fisher throwing on defence. There's a fine catch by Ian Barnes. Sid going. That must be very close to the try line. 15 is Bruce Hay. You've never seen conditions like it. And this is worse than last year in Sydney, especially that corner. The man who got the rough stuff in that maul situation is Scotland's new fullback, Bruce Hay. Sid going. It's as though he almost drowned in there. But the All Blacks are putting early pressure on Scotland with high kicks angled into that very wet and soggy corner. It's a scrum in against the corner with the defensive ball from Morgan. Morgan wrapped up by Kirkpatrick and going defensively for Scotland. That is on the Scots goal line. Actually, it's quite surprising. Although it's very wet in that corner, you can see that just 10 metres up inside the 22-metre line, it looks quite dry. And the footing there where this line out is taking place seems reasonable under the conditions. Ian Kirkpatrick. Bill Watson jumping against Andy Leslie. Ken Stewart against David Leslie of Scotland. Batty to throw. It's inside the Scots defence zone. Leslie jumping against Stewart. Sid going. Caught by Lauder. McHarg it was who towed the ball up the field. His 29th test match this afternoon. The rain has been falling in Auckland for 36 hours. It rained heavily throughout the night. It has not stopped today. Sid going, talking in his inimitable style. We missed it that time. I'm sure you'll see it again. Talks to his outside back, shielding his face with the ball. One against the head for this good Scottish push. Morgan. Irvin. Grant Batty at halfway has the catch. Joe Karam. That one again into space behind the 22-metre line. Bruce Hay. Still in play. The man with his socks down is new All Blacks second 5/8, Lynn Jaffray, the man who had a test 3 years ago. Back in the lineup today. Fisher throwing 10 metres in Scotland's half. McHarg pushed out of that one. Mr. McDavitt penalising John Callison in that line-out. Chance for Scotland to come out of their half for the first time, kicking Douglas Morgan. The All Blacks wearing a white strip today because, of course, their black jerseys would have clashed with the dark blue of the Scottish touring team. Bryan Williams to throw. Tanner, number 1, going high for New Zealand. 10 metres in New Zealand territory. Ken Stewart joining. Sid going the short side to Bryan Williams at halfway. The touch judge, Mr. McMullen, says The Scottish throw-in, 5 metres in New Zealand territory. Colin Fisher to throw, the son of a Scottish Test player, carrying on the family tradition this afternoon. Morgan kicking high, where Williams is back. First 10 minutes up, and the rain is getting heavier, driving in at the backs of the All Blacks. It's never been wetter in Test football, surely. Bill Bush, midway the 22 and halfway. Carmichael rucked out of that one, going. Williams, he's going to kick it for all he's worth. Hay and Irvin. Here's Bruce Hay, the Boroughmuir fullback. What hopeless conditions to make one's Test debut. The noise in the grandstand of the rain on the roof was quite deafening. Bryan Williams. That's halfway to the right. Morgan. That's good work by the Scottish forwards. Kicking behind Karam. Good work by Joe Karam, the All Black fullback. Horowhanua's first ever All Black Test player. Now Fisher. Lineouts even so far, went awkwardly for going. First penalty of the afternoon for New Zealand. The lineouts favouring Scotland at the moment by 6-5. Back to Horowhanua, where Joe Karam now hails from, has had only one ever All Black before, and that was 55 years ago. Harry Jacob, but Joe Karam was the first from that union, that tiny union north of Wellington, to play in a Test match. And you can see that Joe is disgusted with the conditions this afternoon. Fisher. Again, good work by the Scottish line-out men. Ian Barnes, but charged down by the All Blacks. And the Test match at the moment, as expected. A game of kicks, a game of line-outs. Very few scrums so far. Here's Bryan Williams. MacDonald, good work. Stewart, number 6, seems to have the ball. Yes, he has it. Good dispatch for going. Duncan Robertson, he'll put his kick again across towards Irvin's wing. Hay, Batty onto Hay. Towed through by 11. Bill Osborne. But the whistle has gone. There's the new man, Bill Osborne. Very nearly scoring that time, but it's a defensive penalty to Scotland. Once again, Bruce Hay, the young fullback, is in the wars. It's the second time in this match that Bruce Hay has taken a bump. Brought into the Scottish team for the fact that he's a stronger defensive player than the normally accepted Scottish number 1 fullback Andy Irvin. And he could be in some kind of trouble with his forearm. So the early pressure has been on the Scottish tourists. 7th and final match in New Zealand. Hay is going back slowly. Irvin in consultation there with Mighty Mouse McLaughlin. Douglas Morgan, the halfback, there too. But it's Ian McGeechan to take the defensive penalty from inside the 22-metre line. Tani Norton, Sandy Carmichael, Kerry Tanner, behind him Ian Barnes, Hamish MacDonald, now of North Auckland. Ian McLaughlin, Bill Bush. Alistair McHarg, John Callison. That's where the ball went to the Callison and McHarg. Fisher to throw. No score. 15 minutes gone. That's a good catch by Ian Barnes. The All Blacks offside. McGee can do nothing more than try for as much length as possible from that defensive position. Now Grant Batty to throw. The Scots are getting remarkably good possession for Douglas Morgan. Three for Scotland is Sandy Carmichael, who today plays his 40th international for his country, equaling the most number of caps won by a Scotsman in Test rugby. Palm by McDonald. Going. Good hands, Duncan Robertson. That's a high hoist for Hay. Now the pressure goes back on Bruce Hay. And that arm's giving him trouble. The All Blacks want this one. Sid going. There's a gap. Kirkpatrick. Hamish MacDonald. And the All Blacks have scored. Here it is. A gap appeared as Sid Going got it from the ruck. He went through. The support was there from Callison and Kirkpatrick. And Hamish MacDonald joined them soon after. And his great friend Ian Kirkpatrick made the switch to Hamish MacDonald. All Blacks 4, Scotland 0. The last time Hamish MacDonald scored for the All Blacks was way up in New York on the way to England 3 years ago. That's a funny place to score a try, New York. It's even funnier here today at Eden Park. But he's put the All Blacks ahead 4-0. Here's some of the problems for Joe Karam. There is an injury too, and one of the New Zealand players, Sid Going, at the 22-metre line is receiving attention. And Bruce Hay it is who's coming off the field. And that's very sad to see in the hopeless conditions. This fine young player playing his first Test match today, forced to leave the field after a courageous start in this match. Bruce Hay, the Scottish fullback. Now the St John's men are also on the field just to the right of this picture, where you can see Sid Going receiving attention. The injury is on the 22-metre line, and Going must have taken a bump in that little run he made and set up Kirkpatrick to feed MacDonald for the try. Well, the angle is handy enough for Joe Karam, but anything could happen in this kind of rainy conditions. 6-0, New Zealand lead. And here is the Scottish replacement, Billy Steele, coming onto the field for his 19th Test cap. He will report to the referee and take his place on the right wing. Well, there were some who said that Steele should have been in the team in the first place. And now at the end of the first quarter, he gets a run, replacing Bruce Hay. Rennick kicks off. Good work by Bush. Sid Going. Put by McLaughlin. Ken Stewart, so quick to the breakdown, as usual. Andy Leslie over halfway, but knocked forward by the All Blacks. New Zealand front row, all from Canterbury. Bush, Norton and Tanner. Morgan, good hook by Fisher, good channel. McGeechan off his left foot. Karam back. Joe Karam having a good day so far. With that conversion, continuing his fine record of having scored in every test match he's played in. .35 metres from New Zealand's line. Leslie is 6 for Scotland. Going. That's halfway. Six for Scotland is David Leslie. 8, Bill Watson. Good work again by Southland's Ken Stewart. Here's Andy Irvine, who's now gone back to fullback. He's kicked straight to Grant Batty at halfway. Infield to Kirkpatrick, who's pushing them off. Can he set the ruck up? Going. Robertson again angling the ball back to the Scottish right wing. And the newcomer, Steele, unsure of the conditions, caught by Batty. It's Ken Stewart, very quick to the breakdown. That's close to the corner flag. New Zealand on top. Ten metres out. That's 10 metres out. Good ball for Going. Robertson running onto his pass. Grant Batty out in the corner. Now Fisher to a defensive Scottish line-out. Morgan in the face of a charge from Tanner and Norton. A good clearance. Douglas Morgan, his 4th match on the tour. He's pushed the Scottish team out of that very wet corner. New Zealand 6, Scotland 0. There's the try scorer, Hamish MacDonald. Jumping against him, Ian Barnes. Fisher has tied this one up in the front there for Scotland. Again, good work by the Scottish line-out technique. Jumping in the front of the for New Zealand, Canterbury's Kerry Tanner. .22-metre line. 22 minutes gone. Andy Leslie palmed to Stewart. The All Blacks are playing well. Going. Robertson, Jaffray, Grubber kicking it through to Lewis Dick, who hasn't handled in this match before. 12 is Jaffray. Again, good ruck ball for New Zealand. Sid Going, very close to the line. Ian Kirkpatrick is now playing halfback. The All Blacks push forward. My word, the All Black forward division going well at the moment. Tanner, number 1, is the player who's received the buck. Sid Going. Another attack on the Scottish line here from New Zealand. Ahead by 6-0. A remarkably good game so far under the conditions. Mr. McDavid asking the players to come to a new part of the ground and start again in the scrum. Carmichael, McLaughlin and Fisher. Turning, twisting scrum, close to the Scottish line. New Zealand again will get the put in. Sid going, the danger man so far for New Zealand. Williams has lost it, towed away by David Leslie to the 22-metre line. Batty inside the 22. Grant Batty overran the ball. 8, Bill Watson. You never saw a wetter test match or a wetter game. One thing we could say, I guess, it's a clean game. It'll be impossible to get muddy and dirty with so much water about. Sid going. Another position of advantage for New Zealand. But it's going who is penalised. That ball did not go out. Bryan Williams at the 22-metre line. Bryan Williams. MacDonald. That's only 5 metres short. Going. Robertson. Crunched by Colin Fisher. Sid going. He had time to change his mind. McHarg in defence. Andy Irvin, who's gone back to fullback, will save the day from behind his goal line. It's relentless pressure from New Zealand. After 26 minutes, 6-0. Williams, Andy Leslie, Sid going. Knocked forward though, you saw, from Hamish MacDonald. Scotland will have the put in to this scrum, which is 4 metres from their goal line, that very soggy line behind the scrum. One against the head for Tani Norton. Sid going. Kirkpatrick. Almost intercepted by Dick. The All Blacks are playing with great confidence at the moment. They're trying to pass the ball in conditions that are hopeless. There, notice the 2 Leslies. David for Scotland and Andy for New Zealand. The namesakes exchanging a pleasantry at the back of that line-out. McGeechan caught by Stewart. Right on the Scottish line. Going. Sid going. McHarg has him. Hand-to-hand combat again. Sid going is playing very well. On the Scottish goal line. Going. Scrum has collapsed. The All Black back standing up flat for this one. Looks like it's coming through the second row, although the Scots' weight has gone in and they've won it. No, they haven't. Kirkpatrick getting away from David Leslie. Sid going. The All Blacks are winning a lot of ruck ball today. The all-white All Blacks. Ahead by 6-0. Scotland are ahead and the line-out's 14-11. Morgan receiving the ball from Watson. Batty's taken this one. He's going to let fly with a drop kick. It went 1 foot. Batty now has the chance to run. A fine tackle. He's eluded it. Kirkpatrick. Williams. 12 is Lynn Jaffray, but the ball was in touch. Full marks to New Zealand. They're trying things in trying conditions. Williams to throw. 15 metres out. Going. Robertson, he's playing well. Infield to Bill Osborne, the young centre. Well tackled by David Leslie. Sid going. Osborne. That's Osborne's one of his great attributes, pushing his hands through the gap and making it a half gap, but Williams not quite ready to run onto the pass. The Scots are under tremendous strain at the moment. But they are a vastly improved side, as we know, with a fine scrum machine. Tani Norton hooking against Colin Fisher. Banker hooking against the surveyor. Eight is Bill Watson, the Scotsman who got a trip to New Zealand, replacing Gordon Brown when he pulled out with injury. Now he gets a test match, replacing George Mackey when he pulled out with injury. Williams. So the Scots are winning the lineouts, winning them well. Morgan. It's still inside the Scottish scoring zone. Going. Williams. The cover defence across. Callison. Fisher through on going at the 22. New Zealand 6, Scotland 0. Hamish MacDonald a try, Joe Karam a conversion. Outside the 22, Morgan. Towed through by Leslie. That is David Leslie from Dundee, number 6 for Scotland. That one's back on the New Zealand side. Sid going. Back to Robertson. Hoisting high for Andy Irvin inside the 22-metre line. This remarkable player, Andy Irvin, who geared himself up today for a game on the wing. But the injury to Bruce Hay has meant he reverts to his normal position of fullback and going well. Injury to one of the New Zealand players just to the right of this line-out. The referee is calling for something from the stand. There is no St John's man on the field. Looks like a pair of pants. And there it is, the man who needs them. You can see Sid going. There's Mr. Farnworth, one of the touch judges today, running a new pair of shorts on. You can see the crowd in the background is very thick in the number 4 stand, but a lot of people, remember it was a sellout, and a lot of people in the wet conditions have not come to the match today. So though the game was pre-sold for 56,000 people, it's quite a few short of that today, and the crowd I would estimate at about 40,000. 40,000 plus here at Eden Park this afternoon. 15 metres in Scotland territory. McHarg, well caught. Morgan. McGeechan, see how he switches to kick off his left foot. Very strong off that foot. Karam, but the ball was out on the full. The All Blacks have kept the Scots pinned back as we come to the end of the first half of this wet test match. 6-0 to New Zealand. Watson, good work. 7 is Wilson Lauder. Stewart through on Morgan, but the ball is in the ruck. Again in touch. Midway, the 22 and halfway. Callison got highest in that one with a tap to going, who's kept the ball in play. Down to Lewis Dick, who plays soccer with it. Lewis Dick of Jordan Hill, a running winger, will have very little chance to show us his class this afternoon. Marking him and throwing Bryan Williams. That's the 22-metre line. Morgan. Good catch by Karam. Trying to keep the ball in play to hit it into the centre of the field. That one slid off Joe Karam's boot and went into touch on the full. 18-15, the line-out statistics at the moment favouring Scotland. Fisher to throw. Palm by MacDonald. Going away in front of Robertson to his Otago teammate Jaffray. Towed ahead by Lord, and the Scots go on to attack. Back inside the All Black 22. Now the Scots on attack, but really for the first time in the match. Callison coming through the line, but the Scots have the ball. McGeechan, Dick in his extra man, knocked down by Osborne. It should be called a knock on, and it has. Right back at the 22-metre line, Bill Osborne going for the intercept. Douglas Morgan. Away to Lauder. Rennick. Now Billy Steele getting away from Kirkpatrick. Karam has the tackle. Robertson was there too, number 10 for New Zealand. But now the Scots apply pressure. Replacement winger Billy Steele. That's a dry corner of the ground where Fisher has the throw. Palm by Watson. Callison and David Leslie exchanging blows. 7 for Scotland, playing well as Wilson Lauder. That one ruled too tight by referee Peter McDavitt of Wellington. Couple of minutes to half-time. Kirkpatrick wheeling, Morgan, McGeechan, Rennick dropping the ball at the 22-metre line, caught by Jaffray and Tanner. Jim Rennick was once a Scottish schoolboy swimming champion. He'll be really enjoying these conditions this afternoon. At the 22-metre line, Sid going. Morgan. Here's Joe Karam. Good play by Joe Karam in his 10th test match. There's the new centre three-quarter, 20-year-old Bill Osborne, the youngest man on the field this afternoon. About a minute of proper time to go. Stewart quick off the back and kicking through. 14 is Andy Irvine. Changing his mind then and chipping into the air. Kirkpatrick. Going. Robertson's picked it up on the half volley and kicked high. Irvine waiting. He was really crunched by Lynn Jaffray. That's a fine catch by Andy Irvine. He's called a fair catch, and only just receiving recognition from the crowd. Courageous play. Brian Williams. Watson. Leslie. Andy Leslie has dropped the ball. A knock ball. A remarkably good game in the conditions so far. 1 try and 1 conversion to New Zealand. Coming back from Fisher to Watson. Well caught by Stewart, who does so much tackling in each match. Barnes. Ball spinning in the water there. One of the New Zealanders has taken a knock. Looks like it could be Otago's Duncan Robertson. At the bottom of this one. Hard to say. To New Zealand over Scotland, coming to the end of the first half. There are some of the brave souls who are attending this match at Eaton Park in Auckland. It's their only opportunity to see Test rugby this year. Those of you at home with the flagon and the fireside have got the better deal this afternoon. And it is Duncan Robertson who's taken a knock in that scrambling piece of play. Remember Robertson, who played so well in that very wet test in Sydney last year, scoring an amazing try, and going very well again here in Auckland this year in the test match. Morgan. Watson. Douglas Morgan. Again, directly to touch. And the Scots halfback, the man with a Welsh name, he's kicked so many points on this tour, kicked so well, not having the opportunity as yet today. Williams throws in, 25 metres out. McHarg. Going. Kicking high. Steele is waiting. Batty on to Steele. Who wants it? In the mud. Stewart. Laying it up for Bush. You can't free it. Going. Jaffray hooked to the ground. Carmichael kicking through. Now McHarg. The whistle has gone. New Zealand will have the put in out in front of the posts. Ken Stewart has taken a bump. Ken Stewart's first game against the Scotsman on this tour, but we noticed in Dunedin that he travelled from Southland up to the game in Dunedin and stood on the bank in the rain to watch the Scotsmen play against Otago. Very fast to the breakdown and really going well in these conditions that really suit a player of his style. Injury time in the first half. 6-0 to New Zealand. Andy Leslie putting the ball behind him for Kirkpatrick. The man again with the ball at that breakdown. Southland's Ken Stewart. Look at the shove from Scotland. Though New Zealand have it from Leslie to Going. Chipping through to Dick. Williams and Karam onto Dick at the corner flag. Five-yard scrum. The Scotsman must have taken it back, and that's a difficult decision for the referee to make, as there's so much water on this field. The lines are so difficult to see. Good heel by New Zealand. Duncan Robertson. Jaffray. He's got the outside break. Setting it up for Osborne. 5 metres out. Carmichael. MacDonald battling forward for New Zealand. Going. Lynn Jaffray. Callison. Big John Callison from Manawatu. Defensive scrum for the Scots. Going forward from Jaffray. The ball. Another twisting, turning scrum. Watson. Blocked from the ball by Stewart. The obstruction earned Scotland a defensive kick. Quick one by Morgan. Coming closer to the touchline and having some room to move. And to touch it halfway. Grant Batty, number 11. MacDonald. Going. Robertson. That's a good combination between these two. Now Jaffray. Kicking again to space. Andy Irvin. Kirkpatrick. Caught by Leslie. David Leslie. The All Blacks are rucking well today. Sid Going, battling to the 22 and keeping the ball free. Away to Karam, who's kicked for Batty. McHarg back in cover. The big running lock forward. And that's half-time in the test match. Andy Leslie will be very pleased with the first half as his team, New Zealand, leads Scotland by 6 points to 0. The only try in the first half to Hamish MacDonald, converted by Joe Karam. New Zealand 6, Scotland 0 with 40 minutes to play. All sorts of problems out the back with Fire Brigade pumping water off the ground. Karam restarts the second half. Taken by Barnes. Morgan, some clever footwork through. Carmichael, the captain, again leading the charge. McLaughlin, the Scottish captain, in fact, playing his 35th test match, if you count 8 he's had for the British Lions. That's him, number 1, in the middle of the line. Batty throws, palmed by McHarg. Morgan, Callison through. So too is Norton. Ball still in play. Grant Batty kicking high. McHarg, McGeechan. The rain has eased somewhat, although it's still pretty steady. The game has 39 minutes to play. Palmed by MacDonald. Good work by Tane Norton and Ian Kirkpatrick. Now Going. That's the All Black tactic today. The high kick. Notice how quickly the Scots get back in cover. Morgan has kicked for Karam. Joe Karam, caught by Steele. Away to his captain, Leslie. Just a suggestion in the early moments of the second half that the All Blacks may try and move the ball. McHarg doing good work in the lineouts. Carmichael is number 3. Shanley Carmichael coming out there at the front of the line-out, having his 38th Test match in a row for Scotland, his 40th in all. His first Test match was the famous game in 1967 when New Zealand beat Scotland and Colin Meads was sent off. Callison. Ken Stewart killing that ball. Two captains, Leslie and McLaughlin. Going, kicking for Batty. Fullback Irvin, he'll have time to recover. Karam is waiting. Joe Karam, infielder Williams, breaking through at halfway. Bryan Williams. Steele is back, that's the goal line. And Williams has scored a try. Remarkable. And here's how it happened. Adventuresome play by the All Blacks in their own half. A reverse pass, a backflip pass to Williams, and away went on a surging run over halfway. Then the All Black winger kicked ahead. Back was Billy Steele. He got his hand to it and lost it in these slippery conditions at the goal line. He had it actually in his hands. And there it is, for all to see. A try for Bryan Williams. Karam's kick. From a handy angle. 12-0 to New Zealand. Irvin to kick off. Right over the goal line. Although Bryan Williams has been a high-scoring winger, in fact it's been almost 3 years since he scored in a Test match. 1972 at Eden Park against Australia was his last try in a Test match, so he's had to wait 3 long years for that one. On the New Zealand 22-metre line. 12-0. A good advantage now to the New Zealand team. MacDonald going high, but getting the catch was Watson. Leslie has robbed them of the ball. Now Stewart. Look at this for good All Black play. Going. Kicking to space behind Dick. Callison looking for the signal. Behind him, Kirkpatrick. MacDonald. Clever dispatch to going. The two North Auckland players, Duncan Robertson and Jeffrey, the two Otago players. Pressure on Irvin from Batty. Andy Irvin. Bill Dickinson, the Scottish coach, calls him the best fullback in the world. He's playing well today. Grant Batty was warned by the referee for that late charge, or that strong charge on Andy Irvin. Now Batty back in the play, throwing. Callison and MacDonald. The All Blacks winning more ball in the second half. Going. Irvin waiting again. And the crowd reacting for the first time really in this match. These strong challenges by the All Blacks, following through on the high kick. Here is Andrew Robertson Irvin lining out outside the 22-metre line. $12 points to 0. 2 converted tries. And in fact, interesting to note that the rain has actually stopped. for the first time today in Auckland. Over the top from Batty. Osborne. Lewis Dick caught by Osborne, number 30. Going. Jaffray plays first 5-8. Robertson. Stewart out in the backs to Karen. Irvin and Batty. Good throw in by Batty. But the ball did not travel the required 5 metres. Scotland will have a defensive put-in. The All Blacks playing with great confidence with their 2 converted try lead. There's the surge. The Scots are going backwards for the first time on this tour. Watson, Stewart again, so quick to the breakdown. Karam in position. Colliding with Osborne. Steele onto the young Wanganui centre. Nine minutes in the second half. Morgan, Leslie, Callison and Norton charging through to the corner flag. Urban back. It's behind the goal line, though you'd never know because the line was obliterated ages ago. New Zealand has the put-in at this vital scrum. And look at that water in the corner. Going. 10 minutes in the second half. 2 All Black locks, Callison and MacDonald. Going. Batty. Osborne. Leslie got them all. And he gets his head screwed by Batty for good measure. David Leslie slow up from that one. His 5th test match. The All Blacks are playing well at the moment. Morgan standing off the scrum. Number 9, Douglas Morgan. Karam playing safe. Knocking the ball forward there, Joe Karam. Good scrum channel from Scotland again. McGeechan. Karam. The player you can see coming through on Karam has almost been unemployed this afternoon is the young Scot centre, Graham Burkett. Number 13 for Scotland. Young player, only 20 years of age, who's had very little to do in this match today. Burkett playing a test for Scotland at the pre-tour training. The young player had his first visit to Murrayfield. He's never in fact played a game on the ground. Carmichael and McLaughlin, the 2 experienced props, chasing this one. Batty has the ball and time to kick. That's halfway. (12-0). MacDonald and Williams the try scorers. Karam 2 conversions. Fisher at halfway. And Batty coming forward again. A throw for Callison. Kirkpatrick going. Stewart is there too. Penalty to Scotland. The penalties have favoured the Scots today by 7-2. Only 2 penalties have been awarded to the home team today. McGeechan. The rain has stopped at Eden Park, but there's still a tremendous amount of water flying around this ground. As Batty throws, midway halfway in the 22. Behind Morgan, recovering well. So Batty, who's been a busy young man this afternoon, will have the throw against. 5 metres in Scotland territory. At the back of the line, 6 for New Zealand is Ken Stewart. 6 for Scotland, David Leslie. Callison. Kirkpatrick to going. Kicking high, Batty chasing through, putting pressure on Dick. Batty has the catch. Ken Stewart, Batty again, MacDonald, 10 metres out. Fine play by the All Blacks, and Grant Batty handling twice in that move. Fisher to throw to a defensive line out. More pressure going back on the Scottish team, down by 12 points. McHarg, a good catch. And Bush offside. So many people feared that Bill Bush would concede a lot of penalties. Well, that in fact hasn't happened today. I think that's being the first time he's conceded a penalty and enabled the Scots to clear. New Zealand line out. 2 is Tani Norton, 5 Hamish MacDonald, 3 is Bush, 4 is Callison, 7 Kirkpatrick, 8 Leslie, 6 Stewart. Batty throws for MacDonald and Kirkpatrick. Going away to Robertson. Jaffray, Karam in as extra man, lost the ball. Well, the All Blacks, with Joe Karam joining that time, are trying things through their backs far more than the Scottish team. Morgan. Watson chasing through hard on this kick. Batty. Karam says it was knocked on. Batty doesn't agree with Mr. McDermott's decision. Morgan. McGeechan. Kick behind the advantage line. Leslie across. Now Karam at the 22-metre line. Scott's doing best in the small. Barnes feeding Morgan. 11 is Dick. Williams is back. In the water behind the goal line. Brian Williams, a try scorer today. Joe Karam with the ball. He'll be back in Auckland in a fortnight or so. A lot of pressure on him that day too. He's getting married in Auckland in a fortnight. His best man is the All Black winger, Grant Batty. Injury break here, but the Scots are staying close to the ball, as you can see. It's Joe Karam to kick out at the 22-metre line, a drop kick. That's a good kick, a very long one, and skidding through in the wet. Rennick is back. Jim Rennick of Hoyk. Again, has seen very little of the play today. Brian Williams to throw. McHarg and Callison. The All Blacks have this one. Nicely cleared by Kirkpatrick. Robertson kicking through to Irvin again. And Dick's lost it. Andy Leslie. No, it's Duncan Robertson has scored. What a dive. Remember Robertson's remarkable try in similar conditions at Sydney last year. He made it with this high kick that put pressure on Dick and Irvin. Back behind the Scottish 22-metre line. Back they went in the wet. Dick lost it, and a remarkable dive from Robertson sailing through the air. Scored the try, the third today for New Zealand. And that tells it all. The All Blacks enjoying it now, ahead by 16-0. Right arm kicker, Joe, 18-0. Three conversions today for the Paraparam Club's first ever All Black, Joe Karam. Well, you can see the problems of rain on the lenses today as the rain is driving in at precisely the wrong angle for the cameras here at Eden Park today. That's the 22-metre line. 18-0. Andy Leslie kicking ahead. Andy Irvin waits. A skip and a change of direction. But John Callison is going to get warned here by the referee for a late charge on this man, Andy Irvin. And Mighty Mouse McLaughlin didn't see the decision by the referee. And there is an injury too. Colin Fisher injured down by the 22-metre line as the All Black forwards retire. "21 minutes gone on the second half. Now it's a penalty here to Scotland. And a rather confusing period of play as Fisher is injured. And a lot of the players disputing the referee's decision. It was hard to pick it all up. But Ian McLaughlin out there in the centre was most disappointed when the play was stopped and threw the ball down in disgust. Now it's Morgan with the penalty, and it'll be a Scottish move again. We've seen it a lot on this tour. Now he's going to get exactly what happened from referee McDavitt. And Fisher has left the field. He has a cut on the head. We may see the Scots. There's Fisher going in to receive attention. Morgan going for position instead of trying to run the ball. A good kick from Douglas Morgan, the Scots halfback. There's McLaughlin, who now come to the front of the line-out while Fisher is off the field. The rain has started again, as you can see. Williams going, who clears up the touchline. And one of the New Zealand team has dropped. Sandy Carmichael. Tani Norton was the offender that time. Sandy Carmichael, number 3. So just a bit of ill temper coming into the match late in the game. Norton standing there with Sandy Carmichael, still not happy at the front of the lineup. His 40th Test match today. There's Mighty Mouse in a new role, throwing into the lineup. McHagan Callison pulling through. Douglas Morgan. The rain has started again. Must apologise for the blurred condition of the pictures, but it's rain driving in against the lenses of our cameras high up here on Eden Park. Defensive penalty to New Zealand. 9 penalties to 3 today in favour of Scotland. That's a good kick from Karam, right back to Lewis Dick. The rain driving in now from the northeast. Spring a strong wind with it. In fact, the wind seems to have changed direction, coming around again to the backs of the All Blacks in the second half. Lewis Dick waiting inside the 22-metre line. And just a dead patch in the match at the moment. The players are obviously frustrated at the conditions and the close, mauling, bruising type of game that it is. We've had nearly 60 lineouts today. They've been shared equally at the moment. Kirkpatrick back to going to Duncan Robertson, who's played so well. Again the high kick, putting pressure on Andy Irvin, and he's dropped it. It's loose. Tanner, 3 metres out. Hands in the ruck by the All Blacks, a defensive position for the Scots. Mighty Mouse doing it all at the moment. Kicks to Williams, who lets it bounce. Williams taking his time. Straight to Burkett, who handles for the first time in this match. Morgan bringing some sensibility back to the play by finding the safety of the touchline. The wind is driving in now. 18-0, 3 converted tries to New Zealand. Injured player is the new cap from Wanganui, Bill Osborne. Last Test player from that union was 4 years ago, Buff Milner, who now plays in the Counties Union. The remarkable thing about the last few moments is that the wind has switched around almost 180 degrees. It's gone from northeast to southwest and is coming in behind the All Blacks. Osborne going back to position. The problem now for players in these cold, dark conditions will be cramped. There's Batty and Karam back at fullback. And winger. Now one of the Scots team just to the bottom right there, coming back onto the field. It's Colin Fisher, who took a heavy blow to the head. Scots restored to 15 players. Remember, they lost their fullback early on in the match, Bruce Hay, replaced by Billy Steele. Curling in the breeze. See how the wind has gone around behind New Zealand now. Burkett. But a scrum back. Knocked forward by the New Zealanders then. Time ticking away. 12 minutes to play of official time. Well, Morgan and going, playing against each other for the first time today. enjoying that little moment when neither was sure whether the whistle would go. The All Blacks are getting the first shove in at the moment, and they have to move back to the mark. New Zealand front row penalised, and you can see the Scotsmen grimacing, facing this cold sou'wester that's blowing in against them now. And New Zealand have quite a definite advantage in the test, a lead of 18-0. The Scots come back onto attack. It's quite remarkable to think that no Scotland side has scored a try in a test match against the All Blacks for 40 years. The last try for Scotland being scored back in 1935. They've never really looked like scoring one today either. As Fisher throws. McHarg. Morgan. Cleared to McGeechan. Now Burkett losing the ball. Leslie. That's halfway. Five is McHarg. Now Douglas Morgan. Caught by his opposite number going and wriggling away. Slipping away. Lewis Dick having a run for the first time. Urban, Steele, Rennick, and the Scots are throwing it around. Late in the game, late in the tour. Callison, number 4, covering and cleaning up. There's the Scots centres, Rennick and Burkett, who've come into the play really only in the last couple of minutes. A shortened line out now from Scotland. But big Alistair McHarg has taken a knock. Looks like in the muddy conditions his boot has split. And he's coming across to get some tape. Now the match will go on while he's off the field. Rain driving in again. You can see how the wind is now heavily favouring the All Blacks again in the second half. It assisted them too in the first. David Leslie, a good catch. Sid going. Duncan Robertson. Out midway, the 22-metre line and halfway. 3 converted tries to the All Blacks, 18 points. Kirkpatrick. Grant Batty going in and joining the ruck. Smallest man on the field, Grant Batty, but plays well above his weight, which is only just on 12 stone. At halfway. Going, kicking high. Notice how Batty is very quick to chase through onto Urban. Now it's Steele, 16. Stewart is there. So too is Leslie and Batty. Batty keeping it in play. MacDonald. Sid going. 5 metres out. Urban. Saving the day as the rain howls in. The Scots so frustrated by the conditions this afternoon. Now Alistair McHarg is coming back onto the field, trailing a huge piece of tape off his boot. There he is, rejoining this line out. I really don't think that tape's going to last too long under these very soggy conditions. Seven minutes to play in the match. A long throw from Batty. A good one into space. Burkett. But it wasn't straight. 13, Graham Burkett. 3 converted tries to 0. Douglas Morgan inside the 22-metre line. On defence again, the Scottish team. Again, Stewart. Outside the scoring now to Karam. Joe Karam. 10 metres out. MacDonald feeds going. Karam again. Kicking for Williams. Lewis Dick pressured by Williams. Bryan Williams going backwards, looking for space, and through and getting it. Great try, Bryan Williams. And here, quite simply, is the greatness of the most capped All Black winger of all time. The kick went behind Lewis Dick, and he had to scamper for the skidding ball. He was pressurised by Bryan Williams closing quickly, but the All Black winger, when he got the ball, had time in the slippery conditions to decide what to do. He pushed off Dick and then set off on a remarkable run that sent him on the way to his second try this afternoon. Look at him go. Bryan Williams heading for the 4th try for the New Zealand team this afternoon. They go into the lead 22 points to 0. And that's the biggest score ever by New Zealand against Scotland. Kicker Joe again, 24 to 0. Well, now it's a very dispirited Scottish team coming back to restart the game with about 5 minutes to play. 24 to 0. Look at that delay from Sid going, playing with great confidence today. Lewis Dick. Irvin again, but he's knocked it on. More chances for the All Blacks in these monsoon-like conditions that have blown in at the backs of the New Zealand team. Sid going. Andy Leslie, number 8, must be delighted. He says it's his biggest thrill ever today to lead a New Zealand team in his own country. He's led them to a decisive test win. The game ticks away. 24 to 0. Bryan Williams again, kicking into space. Irvin under pressure again. McHarg, the big running lock. McHarg saving the day. Sandy Carmichael waits for this one. MacDonald. Fisher through on to going. That's the 22-metre line. The Scots have only just have a slight advantage in the lineouts. 33 to 32. There have been a lot of them today. One tight head each. 11 penalties to 3 to Scotland. Bush rejoins the scrum. That all Canterbury front row. Now Morgan eludes going. Douglas Morgan, who's been denied a shot at goal today. And so a great part of the Scottish scoring potential has been denied them this afternoon. 2 tries today for this man, Bryan Williams. Morgan, McGeechan, Stewart onto him, and Osborne, and Jeffrey. Going, here's more trouble for Scotland. Sid going, only 10 metres out. Billy Steele, behind his own goal line. And a fine save by the flying Air Force winger. Replacement today, Billy Steele. In fact, scrum ruled. You could see that kick of Steele's went into touch and goal, or Scotland's put in, so there's been some infringement there towards the goal line, but it's a defensive scrum for Scotland. Morgan winning it from his number 8, Watson. Here's Watson. Caught by Stewart. 10 metres out in the gloomy conditions. About 2 minutes of official playing time remain. Watson away to Morgan. Batty to throw in the 22-metre line. 24 points to 0. The All Blacks lead. Remarkable that they should have scored 4 tries in the conditions. Even more remarkable that all 4 have been converted. McLaughlin, Morgan. Keeping the ball in play. 10 is Duncan Robertson, also a try scorer today. So the injured player would be the Scots halfback Douglas Morgan. Morgan, who's been denied a shot at goal today, has kicked 42 points on this tour so far. It's a very disappointed Scottish team this afternoon. A team that has improved so much on this tour. And now at the climax of the tour, they've had to play the New Zealand team in hopeless conditions. It's a very dark Auckland afternoon. But darker still for Scotland, down by 24 to 0. Into injury time now. The match restarts. Palmed by Watson. McLaughlin away to McGeechan. The All Blacks threw like a great white blanket onto that ball. Sid going lends a hand as well. Norton and Morgan, a disagreement. Tani Norton seen in a new role today. The hatchet man of the All Black forwards this afternoon. Been involved in a couple of incidents. Leslie off the back, Andy Leslie. Now it's Wilson Lauder. Caught by Jaffray. McGeechan doing the right thing and taking the ball through at toe to halfway. Ian McGeechan, his 15th test match. A Yorkshireman. A Scot by birth. Sid going in injury time. And going in Morgan, a disagreement, and here's trouble in the last moments of the match. And really, one must only sympathise with the players. That's frustrating conditions to play rugby in. It's amazing that this game has come so far without major incident. Going. Leslie. Kicked through by Rennick. Karam is back. Kicking it to Batty. And Batty, a soccer player, has the ball in touch. 3 minutes of injury time and the All Blacks lead by 24-0. Fisher to throw, 20 metres from New Zealand's line. Going, hoisting high for Steele. But that ball is like a piece of soap. The referee has allowed the advantage to be played, ruling it not a knock-on. Each line out could be the last of this epic test match, fought out in the worst conditions seen in New Zealand for a long, long time. Grant Batty to throw in injury time. Kirkpatrick, good catch and good dispatch to Sid Going. A delay and a high kick. Irvin again. The Scotsman absolutely shattered by these high kicks this afternoon.
Are we off today? Hang on, Dave.
Tries today for New Zealand by Williams to Robertson and MacDonald. The two New Zealanders with the Scots names scored today. Duncan Robertson, Hamish MacDonald. There's another one with a Scots name, Ian Kirkpatrick. Duncan Robertson now. Jaffray kicking through. Osborne chasing. That's the 22-metre line. Williams again. Stewart quick to the breakdown again. And the game is over. New Zealand 24, Scotland 0. 4 tries and 4 conversions. And the epic test match is over. The wet test match. New Zealand are the winners by 24-0.